Welcome back to the Goldlistening podcast, the business podcast that includes lots of different people. And today I'm really pleased to have a great guest, a great friend. He's an award-winning salon director, a family man, a car lover, a generally nice guy, and here he is, Mr. Salv Mule.
Thanks for having me, Sam.
So we eloquently shortened your name to Salv, so that's what we'll address you as.
Brilliant, perfect.
AKA Mr. Positive. Why do I say Mr. Positive?
Well, you know, every problem has a solution, so that's why it's Mr. Positive, I guess.
And you do quite a lot of social media around this sort of stuff, don't you?
Yeah, I quite like, helping people. Generally, getting a positive out of every negative. So, I just like making people happy.
Good to know.
Or helping people happy.
So, before we get into the depths of this, I just want to say that this podcast is about bringing valuable information from people like us who are in the self-employed world of business and delivering it to you guys, the listeners, and hopefully you guys can just take something away from this and you get some valuable little great tips or anything you can take away from this makes us happy, right?
Totally. Even if it's just one thing, I think it's
exactly
worth doing.
Exactly. I'm on that. The same page. So, first question, Sal. Tell us a bit about yourself. Tell our audience about who you are.
So, who am I? Salv Mule, Director of Academy Salons. We have 5 salons all in the Surrey area and also an education school. My strength now is education. I like to sort of help people with education, with mentoring, not just my own sort of team, but other people's team. Like I said, just helping people be successful. So, been going now 21 years actually. Next week, funnily enough.
Congratulations. Oh, we're
nearly so we're nearly there.
Good
so
time.
yeah, perfect. So 21 years. I've been in the industry 30 years, and just love what I do really. I think that's the key. I think you need to sort of love what you do to do it well.
Yeah.
I've always been someone that's, just sticking to one thing, and do the best you can at it.
Yeah, I do agree with that. We covered a bit of that in our first podcast that we recorded only a few days ago, and it was about if you can do one thing, just do it well, and you will pop out the other side
100%.
with many, many benefits and rewards.
Definitely, totally agree.
So a bit about Academy Salons. You didn't obviously start with 5 salons.
No.
You started with one, I guess?
We started with one back in, like I said, 1999, which is probably most people listening weren't even born. But makes me old.
That year actually resounds with me a lot because it was the year I got my first motorbike.
Oh, there you go.
An Aprilia RX 50cc, a motocross type bike, 6 gears, better than any scooter you could buy at the time.
Exactly.
I remember that.
Exactly.
Well.
So it started back then with our Hersham salon, which is basically where our sort of head office is now, upstairs in the office. Above the salon, and then we sort of moved around, sort of added on Cobham, 3 years later, sort of 3 years after that, sort of went to Claygate, and then we had a little bit of break of opening salons, and then sort of started noticing that education was the way forward. So, a few years after that, we went into education.
Tell us more about that, because it intrigues me, because you're a business owner of 5 salons, however, you're out there training other salons, who are effectively your competition.
Well, I don't really see business as competition. If I'm honest.
Good.
Business is business. You've got to do the best you can and stick to the plan that you've set out. And if you can help people along the way, like I said earlier, you need to help them. I think the more people sort of work together as a team, the more successful you become.
Yeah.
So that's my strong belief, and I just like helping people because at some point someone helped me to get where I am, so giving a little bit back, I guess, is the best way of saying it.
So tell us a bit more about what's involved with that, because obviously your day-to-day job is managing and running the salon.
So we have now a team of between sort of 75 and 80, so fair amount of people to sort of manage, but we have processes in place where people sort of just follow what they're supposed to do. So we have a regional manager that runs our salon floors.
Yeah.
We have a manager in each salon that run sort of day-to-day of the salons. We introduced a couple of years ago salon principals in all our salons, so they only get involved with positive, funnily enough.
All right.
Nothing negative about, anything negative is not down to them. For them it's just team morale, keeping people positive.
Great.
And the way things are at the moment, obviously with I'm sort of covered a COVID sort of a conversation, it's working really well. So, they bring out a lot of positivity in the salon. And from there on, all our sort of, or shall I say the majority of our team have grown for our education school.
Yeah. So you're educating the people within your business as well as people outside your business.
Definitely. Yeah, 100%. For me it's all about education. You can't let people do what they don't know. So unless you educate them, there's nowhere forward in my eyes anyway.
How do you find people are, or how do they receive this training that they get? Not practically, but like mentally, if they're there, are they on board with this, or are some of them a little bit?
They'll always be, human beings don't like change, do they? So, you need to find the right way of delivering the product and making sure they see the result. I think if people notice the result, I think they're more inclined to do the right thing. So that's what I would say.
You're training them, then they see the results. That makes them happy. That makes them realise that your training was good, quality.
I think the training needs to work. Same again, it's a team. So we always sit down and beginning of each year, set the team's goals. We sort of set out a whole plan on how they're going to achieve them, sticking to their goals, sticking to their targets, sticking to their plan. Making sure that the motions are always going towards. We say, why are we doing it? It's like, the sort of direction of why. So if it's going to where you want it to be, then carry on doing it. If it's not, let's get back on. Get back on track. So it does work well.
Are they held accountable? Each and every staff member is held accountable to their targets and goals?
I think their own, definitely their personal goals. We can give them as much, help achieving their personal goals, as we can. But as in salon life goals and sort of, let's say sort of figure-wise, then we will help them all every week, every day if need to keep them on track. We have a so-called sort of wish list education that we do that keeps them really on track. So it's in the morning, they get in 15 minutes early. They sort of make their wish list for the day, and we sort of point them out just to tick, making sure that at the end of the day, we've ticked all whatever they've written down. So it works well for us anyway.
Sounds good. One thing we do in our business is we've got a little thing at the end of the day that we call mini wins. And you could implement it really easily if you were able for the managers to do this. So literally at the end of the day, just before they walk out the door, like, right, mini wins, what are your mini? Fire. And it might be one, it might be two, it might be three, it might be four. Usually it's just one or two. But what that does, I think, is it instills in the staff that they've achieved something, and if you've won a little bit, just mini wins, then you leave feeling good.
Definitely.
And I think if you can, we spoke about this on the last podcast as well, that if you can make progress and you feel like you're on the right track by getting those mini wins every day, you've got 5 days of mini wins, and at the end of it, that should be a big win.
Exactly.
That's a big win.
Also with that, I think it starts to following down a positive. Going back to that positive sort of attitude. If you've had a couple of mini wins, like you said, sort of Monday and Tuesday, by Wednesday, Thursday and Friday you'll be flying, and that's, and it's also, it shows, let's say, the team members that have struggled a bit more, that it's actually achievable, and also puts them in the sort of right frame of mind for them to sort of get mini wins. That's a great idea. Nice, I like it. Might take that away, Sam.
I think you should, because that's what listeners are going to do. You spoke about the positives, and there's like the champions in your business who are only there to deal with positive things. But what happens when something negative does happen? Because if it's not their job to deal with it, whose job is it to deal with it?
I think negative thing, like I said, we don't like using the word negative, but when things don't go the right way, it's probably a better way for us to put it.
Challenges.
Challenges, lovely. I love that word. I'm taking that word away.
Yeah.
So it's about showing them a little bit of positive to turn it around, create a new journey, just to sort of get rid of those, like I said, challenges, and put in step to step if we need to.
Yeah.
And that's down from my regional manager letting me know, to the managers letting her know, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So
it trickles down from the regional managers to
definitely
into the managers.
I think it also that creates sort of a bond for us.
Yeah.
We're all in it together. We have obviously most people have sort of your WhatsApp groups or your whatever groups that people sort of communicate on, and we try and keep them now. Just to positives. Anything negative, deal direct with the person.
Yeah.
Just keep some positive attitude on there and sort of going that way. So systems is probably the answer.
Yeah, like a structure. Everyone knows who they can talk to.
Yeah, I love a structure. You talk to any of my team.
Structure
is
Salv, the structure.
Yeah. I will stick to positive.
Yeah, well, that's good. Another question: are you still cutting hair? Do you still cut hair? You don't cut my hair.
I do. I don't cut your hair. No,
Why not?
but I'm still. I do still cut a little bit of hair. I'm doing hair a couple of days a week.
Okay.
Just because, I just like to lead by example.
Yeah.
I can't expect people, or I don't like expecting people to do what I tell them to do if I'm not doing it myself. So, for a couple of days in there, sort of Wednesday, Thursday, trying to, sort of disappear from Saturdays just because I, wanted some sort of family time.
Yeah.
But, and, cutting hair is not really work. Cutting hair is like what we're doing now. Just having a little chat, chatting.
We know hairdressers are the king and queens of gassing.
Definitely.
Gossip.
Finding out the latest gossip.
Yeah.
Cutting hair is, it's not work for me. And it's, that's where we like it. I think to be a hairdresser, I think that's one of the things. It's really about
people.
People skills.
Yeah.
Keeping people happy.
Yeah.
The last bit is hairdressing, really. So
Good. Glad you're still in the
still
mix.
In the tools,
on the tools. Yeah, that's a good way of saying it. The scissors.
Yeah.
Right. The horrible word no one really likes talking about, but we have to because it's here and now and it's with us. COVID.
Yeah.
You guys must have had some kind of effect on your business that you had to shut your doors and you couldn't open again till the 4th of July.
We did.
Tell us what the effects were.
It was strange for everyone, I'm sure. It was, from my point of view, making a decision to close. We actually made a decision to close on the Saturday before we had to on that Tuesday, whenever it was in March. It was, I was at home writing out the messages to the teams and, to our managers, regionals, and all the teams did it personally. It was tough.
Yeah, it must be
really tough.
I've
never not worked. I've worked for 20 years. 20 years of my own, and 30 years in the industry. And it was tough, but we had to do it. We all did it. It was obviously the right thing to do. Fast forward to the 4th of July, it was a lot of things to put in place, a lot of changes. We've done it. It's just a new world now.
Yeah.
It's just I don't want to say it, but everyone's saying, but it's the new norm, and we have to just get on with it and find a solution.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing. It's the same for us. It's the same for you guys. Same for every industry.
And what about all this PPE stuff that you must have had to buy it all in, and you got to throw it all away?
Do you know what? At the beginning we couldn't even buy it. It was so you couldn't get masks. You couldn't get as much, I call it landfill as possible, unfortunately. But we're managing it now. Yeah, it is landfill. We're going to have to find a new way around. We're starting to recycle a lot of it, in our own salons.
Yeah.
Just so we get a little bit more use of it. But PPE is the new way forward.
Staying positive. You've come out the back of it. You've implemented change.
Yeah.
How's business been since then?
It's been different. It's been, like I said, we usually like a structure. We usually don't know what's going to happen sort of day in, day out, sort of week in, week out. I think the new norm is that you don't know what's going to happen today from tomorrow. Just, example, our sort of end of the weeks have always been the positive weeks, sort of our busier weeks. We could easily have a busy Tuesday now and a quiet Saturday,
Right.
So it's making sure that we've covered all bases from when that is, we don't like, having people not come to work, because everyone, it's all fine with, great, to furlough this, help people there, but at the end of the day, people need to still earn the money that they were earning before, and unfortunately, with the furlough, I think people struggle a little bit. So we've got everyone off furlough.
Back in.
We've got everyone in back to 5
Great.
days a week. Doing the best they can and implementing new stuff to keep as busy as possible, really.
Sounds good. Well done. I think it's an achievement to even ride out that storm, because a lot of people haven't, unfortunately, and you've obviously got a good business, so good for you. Let's talk about tech, because I think what's happened with COVID is it's accelerated what companies need to do with regards to tech and how to get people back into the shops or places on the high street. And the booking systems, you can't just have someone just randomly walking off the street anymore, any shop that is. What have you got in place tech-wise that helps solve a few problems?
Well, I think we had it before, and to be fair, it's accelerated, like you said, so much since lockdown. Online bookings, people booking off our website, social media in general has sort of gone crazy for everyone. Online bookings are probably up 35-40% on what they were
compared to
back March.
What were they doing? Telephone?
Telephone, yeah.
Right.
Before it was all telephone.
Right.
Before it was rebooking in the salon.
Yeah.
I think people just had more time to spend on their phones.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that, really. Which has been great for us. It's freed up a little bit of front of house time for us, rather than being stuck on the phone all the time. They're sort of, looking after our guests walking in, which is great, and really what they're there to do. But when the phones were obviously as busy, it was sort of limited as much as we could do on that. So it's worked great for us. So getting new clients in, obviously working together with you guys has been great. But going back to sort of tech and apps, I think it's just a way forward now. It's just a way forward.
You think we're going to have more and more and more on apps? Like, I went to the Apple store the other day, and I got turned away because I couldn't even get in. The Apple store is open fronted in a shopping mall, but security guards, can you believe it? 2 security guards, all taped off. You couldn't get in, so you couldn't go in and touch anything. Fair enough. Massive queue out the door, round that floor, and you go round to the end of the queue and talk to someone, and they say, "What are you here for?" I say, "Buy something." They're like, "Sorry, appointment's free today."
It's crazy.
Unfortunately, that wasn't a great experience. I mean, I actually prefer shopping on the high street, especially using technology nowadays to help, than I do online. But that situation is going to force me to either book and go again, which means I've got to travel, park, or buy it online. And I'm a believer in pulling people back to the high street. I know we have restrictions, but the more you can do on the high street, the better, because you can go out with your friends and family, like you explained for the weekend. You went out with your wife, and your daughter was being looked after by your mother, and you could go out and have lunch and relax and do a few other things shopping without.
It was actually quite nice. It was actually, talking about the weekend, it was actually, funny enough, my wife said it's actually quite nice to do a little bit of normality. In a restaurant, spaced out, but just having something to eat, and and it was a little bit of norm, or the old norm, shall we say. But I think going back to what you were saying about not wanting to wait for an hour, and people are so short of time anyway. People, everything has to be in the diary, otherwise it just doesn't happen. I think we do need to get people on the high street, especially our own businesses, they're on the high street. Unless you can make it easy for them, like you said, they're going to go online. It's all fine. People saying, "Oh yeah, online's destroying our business," but unless we change what we're doing on the high street,
and there are
we're letting it happen. So, and there's lots that we can, there's lots that we can do. We just have to be as accommodating as possible to get these people, through our doors, and more importantly, return.
Yeah.
Hence, a lot of our industry is, rebooking people in, making sure that we know they're coming back in 4 weeks, reminding them that they need to come back in 4 weeks, so on and so forth. And to be fair, once they're in there, they love it anyway, because like I said, it's the new norm, isn't it? So, that's something that the high street, definitely needs to concentrate on.
Let's move on. I think those high street things are really important, because you can't cut hair on the internet.
No.
You can't try your pair of jeans on the internet. The high street will not go away. I think as a business, we're trying to help that as much as we can, and we're doing good. I was doing some research on some things over the weekend, and there were 3 things that came up that was a bit of a theme about businesses, especially if you're a startup, which you're not, but you can maybe advise on this. So the first one is to keep things simple. The second one is to build a community, and the third one is to involve influencers. And I think if you have this recipe, then you're on the right track for success. So knowing those things, keep it simple, build a community, involving influence. What do you do as a business to help on those things?
Keep it simple is definitely the main thing out of those 3 that I would say for our business personally, or for any business, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
People don't like complicated, do they?
No.
You need to keep it, like you said yourself, you need it simple. You want to go where you want to buy something, you want to go in, give them your money and go.
Yeah.
That's simple. Queuing up, making an appointment, letting blah 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 blah. Lost the sale.
Yeah.
Headache.
Yeah. Well, Apple lost the sale from
exactly,
me on the weekend.
and then we're here talking about
it.
So I would definitely say, keeping it simple would definitely be the first thing out of there.
Community? Who is your community?
Our community, our branding is all about family hairdressing, individual style. Yeah. So we like to look after a 4-year-old, like we look after, an 80-year-old. For us, if we can get the children in, the mums will come, the dads will come, the grandparents will come, so on and so forth. So our community is everyone in our community. Yeah. The way we try and sort of market that, talking about influencers, is, everyone is an influencer in our industry. It's easy. You make sure that their hair looks nice. They'll be going to, I don't know, a restaurant, or they'll be going to a coffee shop, or they'll be walking down the high street. At the end of the day, like we're saying, technology takes over. There's always a picture coming on. Yeah. It's all, so
especially if they're going out.
All our clients are influencers for us.
Yeah.
That's what I would say. Yeah. So
it's true though, isn't it?
100%. 100%.
I'm a firm believer of, if you can get someone else to do your marketing for you, your marketing is 50% done. You still need to do your professional marketing, but if others are doing it for you, that's what should go viral. And actually, knowing that, we are connected on Instagram, and you're very active, we're very active, and when you promote stuff or share stuff, what we do together, we actually get quite a lot of other people off the back of that because of your influence in the world. So you're actually an influencer for Goldlist app. I don't know if you realise that.
Brilliant.
But that's the way, because you're sharing it to your network of what we're doing together, because we're all interested in sharing.
And I think that goes back to what we were saying earlier on. It's about, why do you help people? And that's the perfect answer. Yeah. If I'm helping you, you're helping me, vice versa. Yeah. And like I said, if anyone can get one thing out of what we're doing today, then a bit more positivity out there, which is great. A bit more successful.
I agree. Right, I've got some, I guess, quick fire questions.
Okay.
Let's keep them snappy, just to...
I'll try my best then.
3 tips for salons.
Free trip for salad. Well, I don't know if I can keep that snappy, but I would say concentrate on what you're best at.
Mhm.
Keep it simple, as I said earlier,
Yeah.
and just concentrate on your own journey. Don't worry about what other people are doing.
Okay.
That would be my tip on
That's
any
really good,
business.
actually.
Stick to your journey. Don't worry about anyone else.
Yeah, I think a lot of people actually, I'm not making this snappy now, I think a lot of people look at their competition, like we were saying earlier, and they worry about their competition, and then they try and be like their competition.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's not the way, is it? Because how can you be individual
No, exactly.
if you're like someone else or trying to be like someone
100%,
else?
yeah, so true, so true.
Great tips. What if they were for just entrepreneurs, so not someone in your industry, someone who wanted to, either in business already or wanted to start?
I would say you've got to love what you do and stick to what you're good at.
Yeah.
I know, probably telling you, but I know you've got lots of businesses and stuff that you're doing and you do very well. But I think this is obviously my own point of view. If you're sticking to something, do it amazingly.
Yeah.
And spend all your time, because there's only 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
So
I agree with that.
I think the thing that I've learned probably the last few years is, work-life balance.
Mm-hmm.
I think there needs to be a little bit of that from my point of view. Like I said, I'm a bit old now, so I've done my bit.
Yeah, but you're a family man, and
exactly. So
you've got other
priorities change.
Yeah.
When you have a family. So just love what you do.
I like it. How do you manage your time?
That's a really good question. Really good question.
Are you a morning person?
I am. Oh yeah. There's
So you're
no time. If you ask all my team, what do I say? And maybe I shouldn't say on here, but I'll say it anyway. I said, sleep when you're dead.
I'll totally. Yeah.
Sleep when you're dead.
Yeah.
There's no time to sleep, is there?
So you can. What I don't think people realise, if you go to bed at 10, you naturally wake up at 6, and with no alarm, especially now because it's bright at 6.
Definitely.
So you don't even need an alarm. That's
you've got to
solid 8 hours sleep.
I've got a daughter as an alarm, but to be fair, even before she was around, I'm up at 7 o'clock. Alarm goes up, but I'm generally up before it.
Yeah.
I've got a structure.
Yeah.
It's literally up, breakfast, shower, blah, in the car, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So that has to be. So that I've got my own structure to about 8:30, 8:45.
Yeah.
Then I've got my assistant organises the rest of my day.
Okay.
So I have a diary
Right.
that tells me where to be and when to be there.
Yeah. Oh, fair enough.
So
Yeah.
that's what I need.
Yeah.
I need to stick to times. That's what works best for me. I get home, structure happens again, and then sort of our own sort of life begins at I guess 9 to about 10:30, and then it's back to ready for tomorrow.
Yeah.
So, but I'm trying to work 5 to 6 days at the moment rather than the 7. So I am trying to create.
So you could
sort
work
of a bit
7.
more balance. I could easily work 7.
Okay.
But I don't want to. I choose not to.
No,
Shall I
of
say?
course.
Not I don't want to.
Yeah.
I choose not to because otherwise I could do 16 hours, 18-hour days, 7 days a week.
Yeah.
But we have to balance.
It's not healthy. Everyone knows that.
No.
You've got to work smart. That's it, isn't it? Like you having your assistant helping you book things out for you. If you were doing that, it'd be labour intensive. It'd be taking you longer, and you wouldn't have as much structure at all.
Exactly. So structure is crucial word, structure.
Yeah. Interesting point. Final question, I think. What do you wish you knew when you were starting your career that you now know?
Jeez. Do you know what? In some ways, starting at the beginning is not a bad thing, Obviously, we could take shortcuts and we could talk about hindsight, couldn't we? But, what I would say is, as long as I've learned from every mistake that I've made, then the mistake's worth making.
Yeah. I don't think you learn without failure.
No, no, definitely not.
Or taking a step sideways and going up.
No, you've definitely, like I said, if we're pointing up there, as long as we're above that line, majority of the time, we're going to fall under it. But as long as we keep going back on track, so I would say, hindsight, but we can't have hindsight, so I would say I'm happy with what I've done, if I'm honest.
Well, that's great, and it's led me to another
Don't
question.
trip me up, Sam.
Here we go. This is the juicy one.
Okay.
I haven't even written this down, so it just come to me. It's on the back of what we just said.
Yeah.
What would you like to have known back then that you don't know now?
Yeah.
Or sorry, you do know now. And it's what would you say are the major shifts that have happened in your career that helped you go from one position where perhaps you weren't 100% optimized in what you were doing to then become 100% the best? So making those changes, what were the shifts?
Okay, I think that's really good, and I think it probably answers the question before a little bit. I think it's about thinking you know it all when you're young.
Yeah.
Right, but you don't.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So you're thinking you know it all, you don't know it all. You've got to make those mistakes to learn. And I think the big shift from our point of view as a company was, we were trying to find or recruit people that didn't exist.
Right.
Hence why the education
bit unrealistic.
Came along. Yeah, I think we do expect a lot from our team. And everyone tells me that all the time. You've got high standards.
Yeah.
Too high standards. I don't think you can have high standards enough at a time. So when we were trying to recruit someone with high standards, that'd come in and it'd be 50% of what you wanted, 60% max. So we said, right, the learning curve is they don't exist. Let's make them ourselves.
Okay, interesting. I like that. That is really important.
And that's what switched us around to the education. So we started from the bottom, literally. Our industry, average age of our industry is like 22, I think now.
Yeah.
And you're
training your own.
Train our own.
Yeah.
From school.
Yeah.
We go to schools. We get them out of school.
Okay.
We show them what the career can bring them.
Fantastic.
There's so many avenues in our career anyway. You can go down the education. You can go down catwalks. You can just be on the salon floor. You can do whatever you want. So going into schools and doing that has helped us massively. And that way, if they've got any bad habits, so we call them, it's only created by us.
Yeah.
So I've only got myself to blame.
Yeah. You need to work on your education.
So exactly. Yeah. So that's what I would say. My learning was, if it's not there, make it.
Yeah, that's so important. I think that's training.
Yeah.
And training can only happen if you're experienced. You're experienced. Other people in your business are experienced, and that gets your staff more like you. No one's perfect, but they can be more like you. And think like you, and cut hair like you, and treat the customers like you, then you're on for a winner.
Definitely, and I think it helps them achieve what they want to achieve.
Yeah.
I've got some real, young guys working for us, and you think, their goals are A, B, and C, and you think, brilliant, because at 18, 19, the majority of people aren't like that. I want to save to do X, I want to save to do Y. How can I work harder to get this? And, and that's what I love.
Yeah.
I love those people you can't but help.
Yeah.
You've got an 18, 19-year-old help asking you for advice because they want to become like whoever they want to become. It's fantastic. You can't throw those people. You can't throw them away.
I agree.
They need to really be there.
That I think we'll close on that point, and I'll say on the back of what you just said about those people is Carol Dweck writes a book called Mindset, and all it talks about are two types of people: someone with a growth mindset and someone with a fixed mindset. And we're all a bit of both.
Definitely.
But generally you can be one.
Yeah.
Generally you're more of one than the other, but we're all a bit of both. So if you haven't read that book by Carol Dweck, go and get it. It's called Mindset. Salv, thank you very much for being on the podcast.
Okay, thanks very much. Thanks
that
for
was
having me.
really interesting. I really enjoyed talking to you.
Nice.
Getting a bit deeper into...
Hopefully we'll do another one soon.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, let's get some more
sounds
people
good.
on.
Yeah, sounds good.
If you've liked this podcast, then please like it and share it with anyone that you think who else would enjoy it as well. And if you think of any guests that you might like to see on, then obviously drop us a DM through Goldlist at Goldlist app on Insta. And stay tuned for the next Goldlistening podcast. Thank you.